Good morning, Wolfpack fans. I'm Mark T. Robinson.
And I'm Gabe Garza.
And we're here to bring you the happenings in Wolfpack sports. Some things you missed, some things you saw, but just want to hear about again. And all the upcoming matchups for this week. But we're going to kick things off with talking about volleyball here. They wrapped up their season in the SSAC tournament. They entered the tournament as the 7th seed, lost the first 2 games, but came out with a win on, I believe it was Thursday, against Dalton State, the Roadrunners, 3-1. And Lindsay Yulfig led the way with 17 kills, a career high for her. So, and also Sonny Blanchard, the freshman, with 30 assists. So, a couple of career highs in the final win, ending off on a high note. What do you got to say about the volleyball team from what you've seen?
Well, you mentioned there, we're going to stay positive that their core players are mostly young, so that's a good thing to always keep forward. You want to have youth going forward, working on your season. But congratulations to the team on finishing the season. One or 2 games under 500, but they were competing, came in as a 7th seed, and it's good to see them at least getting in that in the playoff hunt.
Oh, absolutely. And a couple of players receiving honors. Tyler Beckham named to the all-freshman team. Allison Hartman named to the SSAC all-conference team. So big accomplishments there for some PAC players. And now we move on to women's basketball. And in their last matchup, they lost, actually, in a Texas road trip to Paul Quinn College on Saturday. Megan Temple led the way with 12 points, 6 boards, but a 62-58 loss. Gabe, the PAC shot just 3 for 22 from 3, though.
I know that's not normally like them. They shoot very well from the floor, but despite the shooting, they only lost by 4 points. Or 4 or 5 points. They're close in that matchup. In all their games, they've been pretty much close. Other than the game against Tulane, they've been really close in their matchups. They're competing, they're fighting for those those last possessions here and there. And just to get off starting off the season pretty much on a road streak. They're competing on the road, and that's what you want to have. And then, it seems like they've been on the road forever, so it's good to have them finally come back eventually, right? So when they come back, I'm sure they'll be ready to play.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I feel like, and for me, I feel like I just haven't seen this team really play yet. And for me, it's kind of disappointing. They're coming off a championship. Everybody's anxious to see them, wants to see them here at home. But they've got one more on the road, I believe. They are tipping things off against Xavier on tomorrow.
It's close enough. It's close to home, but it's not really quite there.
Close to home. It's a crosstown matchup against another NAIA opponent, so we'll get to see him in action. But one of the things I'm going to be looking forward to seeing, Gabe, just really quickly, is how they're going to bounce back with the 3-point shooting, man. I mean, we talked about that. We talked about how they're scrapping, they're fighting for every possession. So it's going to be interesting to see, definitely.
Okay, and you want to talk about the men now?
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on to the men's squad. They lost their last game. They haven't played since Tuesday. They've had a little bit of a
break here.
Yeah, a little bit of a layoff, almost a whole a bye week, so to speak. But they lost the last game, 83-77 on the road against Suno. Nick Parker led the way with 29 points, so he has definitely been dominant here early on in the season. Johnny Griffin had it 22-7. So
Loyola right now pretty much have like a 1-2 combination punch. You got Nick Parker running for the guards at least. You got Johnny Ford and Johnny Griffin playing at the forward position. Right. So you got a nice inside outside kind of game going on. Nick Parker can score from the outside, and if he misses, but he did pretty well there. Johnny Griffin get those rebounds and those put back buckets when you need it.
Oh,
so
definitely.
They have a nice combination, especially on offense. Defense, I want to see them a little bit, more, practice a little bit more on the defensive end. But the offense looks really good, in my opinion.
Definitely, and that's one of the keys that Coach Stacey Holloway was kind of talking about before the season even started. He says, you know what, we're winning. Last year we won games by about 3 or 4 points a game. But he said the difference is going to be on the defensive end. He wants to see his team compete. And I think guys like Johnny Griffin, like Nate Pierre, those types of guys, they are going to make the difference on the inside as anchors defensively, especially Johnny Griffin with that athleticism, man. I mean, it's insane just watching him go out every night and compete on that end of the floor.
You can always expect at least one highlight
Yeah,
play.
at least one.
Yeah.
They always run kind of like the play. They'll move the ball, get it to the guard. They'll run a back screen. He'll cut back door for an alley-oop. You can always expect that. And I'm surprised teams haven't caught on yet, but it always seems to work. But they match up against Xavier University as well right before they come home on the 17th. They're matching up at around 7 as a crosstown matchup. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how they bounce back.
Yeah, same for the women. Same for the women. At least they've been on the road for a while, so been a 5-6 game road trip here. So as soon as they get back, come out to support your pack and see them at home.
Oh, definitely. And I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. Be sure to check back in with us on Monday as we give you the scoop on the future matchups, previous matchups, and everything happening here in the world of sports for the Wolfpack. Once again, I'm RT Robinson.
And I'm Gabe Garza.
And we'll see you next time.